All right, and if like I said, if they burn up in a fire, plastic license, hello, man, there ain't gonna be anything left. All right, it's gonna be melted beyond any kind of identification, just like the body. So go back to high school, man. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Go back to high school. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you just haven't had a good education, and you know, they call that ignorance. And there's nothing wrong with that. Admit it. Go back to school. You need it. I'm not trying to insult you. You just need to go back to school if you don't realize plastic melts. Continually insulted me about the fact that I was out of power, which, you know, I mean, hey, you know, I've had to struggle for 4.5 months. I don't need some smart-ass police officer to, you know, making fun of me for not having power. Went in and found a little jar that had salvia in it. He had made a comment that, oh, we found coke. It was salvia. It's legal. You can buy it. It sucks. I won't do it. Probably, well, I might do it again, but it was salvia. It wasn't coke. It was an old salvia jar. But basically, after humiliating us and insulting us and making comments about, my friend wants to, which is our cameraman, thank you very much. He's going to be my editor also and director on these things. You know, he made fun of him for wanting to choose that as a career. Well, hey, you know, we're doing it together and we're doing a little teamwork thing here. You know, maybe get something. You know, maybe make it somewhere. If nothing else, at least our voices will be heard. But it was wrong what they did, busting up in here like that to find that. Then to take me out afterwards. And here's the kicker. Wants me to wire up and bust a local pot dealer. Okay? Now, I won't say his name out of respect to him. But I don't know the man that well, but I'm not going to do that for anybody. I'm not a snitch. And I'm especially not going to put my life in danger that I might get my ass shot for being one. You're the cops. Why don't you earn your money? Do what you are paid to do, all right? Do some investigative work. Sit and watch in a van somewhere. You know, that's what the professionals do. You watch on TV. Maybe you should watch a few cop shows. I will not say this is indicative of all the police of the force or the chief. I do not know Chief Daw. I hope to get to have a meeting with him to discuss all this with him. But I would say that definitely DM and Glasses McSqueaky, you need to go back to cop school. I knew a lot of cops in Colorado that were cool guys, but wouldn't expect you to, you know, snitch out a damn pot dealer that, you know, gave you a little bit of pot, you know, if you're just a casual smoker. They didn't even worry about that. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do your job, then don't be a cop, all right? Why don't you be a real hero and be a firefighter? And I got to take, so wait 1 second. There were 2 sheriffs who went into a burning building and helped save some people. Kudos to them, all right? Those were heroes. I don't know what they are, you know, as police officers normally, but they did exactly what the police are supposed to do. They protected, served, and saved lives, all right? But maybe they should just do their job, you know, and maybe they should quit picking on someone who wants to smoke a little green. And to this officers that had, you know, that made the comment, I had even said something to the officer in charge, DM, and told him that, you know, he should, you know, say something to the man because he was being highly insulting. And I'm sorry, I'm still a voter and a citizen, and I'm innocent until proven guilty. And hey, I did have the pot in the house. You know, I can't deny that. I gave it over to them. I cooperated, and they wanted more and tried to use me and lied to me. What does that tell of our police force when you try to use a citizen for that? I can still vote, even if you convicted me. I can still vote. I can vote and do everything I can to get you out of that position. And that's actually what I'm going to be asking the police chief to do, is to remove him from that position to a demotion, or at least to punish him enough so that he realizes his mistake and, you know, needs to either go back and do some more training or something. Also, to the officer McSqueaky, I'm not done with you. I think you're a very racist person. I'm sorry, and I'm coming after you for that, for the comments you made, and for insulting us. I'm going to expect to get something from you from this, because what you did was wrong. The entire scenario was wrong, and those 2 officers in particular, DM and Glasses McSqueaky, what you did was against the constitutional rights of this country. You didn't have probable cause. What you did is you took one person who was probably mad at me about something new I was smoking, and smoked on, you know, once in a while. You're the example. Well, how am I supposed to follow you as an example to our laws when you cannot even follow yourself? You have not heard the end of this, nor have you heard the end of me. Like I said, I've made myself public enemy #1. You know, hey, You pretty much ruined my reputation with harassing me in your cars, which is another thing. The officers pulling up to me at the skate park and other places, harassing me about wanting me to, pull over, turn out dealers to them. Well, I wouldn't do it. A month later, they came and arrested me, almost exactly 4 weeks to the day. They came and arrested me because I would not snitch anybody out. I wouldn't do it because it's not my job, and it's snitching. Let's face it, it's snitching, but it's not my job. I don't get paid to do that. All right? I didn't want to be a police officer, or I would have been a police officer.
You want to be a firefighter.
So I want to be a firefighter. They're the real heroes in my book. All right? I'm sorry, because they save lives more than police officers do. Your whole life is dedicated to that. But also, when they pulled me over up on Ridgewood Drive, the officer went by my car several times. I know he ran my plates. He knew that I'd already been arrested for it. Had to pull over when I'm sitting there warming up my car for no reason, just because he seen me. Now, I'm sorry. If it's probable cause to go and question someone because they go out to their car to warm it up, this is a Nazi state, all right? And you're running a Nazi state, and I live in the U.S. If that's the case, things need to change. And if I have to run for office to change them, I will. Because you are not the Gestapo. Now, some of you may feel that you are, and you probably have the big head from your position, all right? But you are not Gestapo. Just because a guy's getting in his car doesn't give you the right to pull over and harass him. And as, the officer found out, I'd already been served my warrant. I paid my bondsman, and I was out, all right? To face my court date, I hired a lawyer. And so, I'm doing it the legal way. How come they couldn't? Where was their warrant? If they had such a good, if this was such a good thing that I was a big dealer, which was a joke, they would have had a warrant. Instead of just busting up in here and forcing their way into my home, which is another thing. Forcible entry without, to me, there was no probable cause. Someone calling and saying someone's a drug dealer is not probable cause, especially when you have no power, all right? A crack house, maybe. Crack houses do that, but I'm sorry. I smoke a little weed. That's the worst that I've done. Hey, it is a crime, unfortunately, but maybe that should change. Give us our little bit. Get your little tax money off from it. Then you won't have to harass people so much, and maybe these guys will have time to do their real job. If you would have done some police work instead of busting in here that night, Mr. DM, if you would have sat out there and done some surveillance, you'd see I don't do business. I got friends that come over, we hang out, half of them don't even smoke. You don't have to be a pot smoker to be my friend, all right? But you have to be honest. Outside of it, everything, me and you could have still been friends even though you're a cop, and I smoke a little weed. But you're a liar, and I don't trust liars. And I don't trust people that make fun of other people. Glasses McSqueaky, I don't trust you. You're a liar. Neither one of you deserve your position. You've harassed me, and I will see to it that somehow you will pay for that. I want to thank everybody who's going to listen to this. I want to thank everybody who's been an influence to this. Thanks again to my cameraman director and good friend here who's taking care of all this. And thank you for listening to the rant. And we'll get back on it. And hopefully every week we're going to be broadcasting to you. Thumbs up tomorrow, power, and one more day after that, cable. Hope to see you next week.